cryptocurrency market as it stands and talk about whether this is the end of cryptocurrency as we know it, as a lot of people are speculating, as people think this is a bubble that has just popped. People are thinking it's the crash that's going to bring everything down to zero. As you can see, for the most part, cryptocurrency is in the red in the top 100 by about 5 to 20% across the board, with Bitcoin dipping below 10k, which is the lowest it's ever been in 2018. But I want to go through why this really isn't a problem and why you should not be worried due to the misinformation that's going around at the moment with India banning cryptocurrency. As you can see by these titles of these articles that are completely unsubstantiated, you can see they're getting some clickbait titles in there where there's an Indian cryptocurrency ban and this is causing all the prices to fall. Maybe it'd be true that it is causing the prices to fall, but these articles are just simple misinformation that's causing a bad effect on the cryptocurrency market. I've written some notes to go through about what I think about the whole situation and why we shouldn't be worried and the sort of stage we are with cryptocurrency as it stands and what is going to happen in the future. So people believe that Bitcoin and crypto is being full out banned by India, but this is simple misinformation and FUD. As you can see here, there's a lot of people speculating that it is being banned, and it does say here on the tweet and an article that the person in charge, which is Arun Jaitley, did not say Bitcoin will be banned. It's just simple misinformation and this needs to be cleared up. He reiterated the whole idea that he does not consider cryptocurrencies a legal tender or coin and will take all measures to eliminate the use of crypto assets in financing illegitimate activities or as a part of a payment system. So the problem with this, right, is that people are taking it as they're banning cryptocurrencies as a whole on exchanges and things like that. What they've technically explicitly said is that they're going to stop illicit activities being done with cryptocurrency, which involves the dark web and just illegal activities as a whole. They're not saying you can't pay your taxes with it, they're not saying you can pay wages in it, they're not saying you can buy houses in it and finance mortgages with it. They're saying they don't want you to buy drugs, guns and things like that on the internet or from the black market and things like that, and they will be stopping that. Yes, that is a huge market, and to be honest, is a huge market in the world as a whole. But as a survey did come out, or with the information that did come out with a study, is that less than 1% of Bitcoin's actual transactions are illegal and illicit. I've done a story about that before in one of my crypto news of the day, and I will reiterate that point now, is that less than 1% of it is actually illegal activities. So if you look at the 8 billion that is traded with Bitcoin in the last 24 hours, only 1% of that is illegal. So if we take that out of the equation, it's basically going to do nothing to the market. It will have a slight effect because it will kind of restrict what people can do with it, but to be honest, it's the healthy thing to do with a cryptocurrency in general. You don't really want illegal activities to be occurring with something you want to overthrow the government financial systems and things. Regulation is something that needs to happen. Governments won't give up all control. It's something that we need to compromise, and the government needs to compromise to move forward and step into the future. India are not saying they're going to ban cryptocurrency, they just don't want illegal things being done with it, and rightly so. Have they got a problem with stopping illegal activities that throw people in jail for before they even start? That makes sense to me. I don't know why it doesn't make sense to other people. Cryptocurrency is a concept made into reality in pursuit of dethroning the government financial systems. When a country such as India doesn't like the idea of cryptocurrency wholly, obviously they don't like the idea because they're trying to FUD it, but with misinformation kind of, by saying they're going to ban, payment systems and illegitimate sort of transactions. It's kind of questionable what they mean by that because you don't really know. Governments are unpredictable, so it is a form of FUD. But as you can see, it hasn't had the effect they really wanted. Yes, it has crashed the price slightly, but we can deal with it. People are learning to hold. Like, people that aren't really that involved in cryptocurrency don't like the idea of holding and see it as a time to get out as they've lost all their money. Oh no, it's the end of cryptocurrency. But this just gets rid of the weak fish in the pond. You don't want these kind of people to be inside because they don't understand the intrinsic value of these coins and they don't understand how to invest and keep their money into something they believe in. As yes, everyone wants to make money, but also you need to believe in cryptocurrency and the potential it has in the future. Also, I got a quote from Gandhi as well. Someone's quoted on my videos before and it really struck a note with me. And it's that first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then they win. Or then you win, sorry. Keep that in mind. We're currently gone past the ignoring stage. People just didn't even acknowledge Bitcoin as something being there in the future. The concept was way too far ahead of its time and people really didn't see it happening anytime soon. People would laugh it off as something that's going to take over the world and fiat currencies won't exist in the near future. Now this is starting to happen. Now, they're starting to laugh at us. Well, they kind of gone past the laughing stage already. They laughed at us and people were like, You know, if you see by the Bitcoin sort of documentaries on Netflix and things, people are saying, you know, I've got real dollars here, let's see where your cryptocurrency is in a year from now, and they laugh at you. They're like, it's never going to go anywhere, you've just lost all your money. Then they fight you, which is in the stage we're kind of in at the moment, with the governments like South Korean governments trying to fight out the market and present bans, just like India is as well. They're in the stage where they're fighting us, they're trying to regulate everything, and they're trying to scare us by, you know, throwing out these illegal bans that they actually have no control over, with Capital One and banks like that trying to stop completely transactions going out to cryptocurrency, which is going to lose them a lot of consumers, and people that are on trend and people that will get with Bitcoin, get with cryptocurrency and see it as the future, will be the successors in the future. Next stage is then we win. This is coming very, very soon. It comes straight after then they fight you. As you can see, South Korea have tried to ban it. South Korea have tried to stop everything going on with cryptocurrency. They tried to get rid of exchanges. So have China. It really hasn't worked out in their favour. They've just given up. They had inside trading. Even their part of their official sort of team was inside trading with cryptocurrency to make a few extra bucks on the side. That is when you know you have something big in your hands, when the people that are meant to be against it can't even keep their filthy hands out of it because they see how much money can be made and the potential it has in the future. As you can see here, I made a video about this yesterday about how South Korea says no plans to ban cryptocurrency exchanges, and they're basically uncovering illegal trades which they're going to say no to as well, which makes sense, as I said, that India are doing, but hasn't been clearly set out. As you can see here by the quote from Kim Dong-yong, says, "There is no intention to ban or suppress cryptocurrency in the market," Kim said, adding the government's immediate task is to regulate exchanges. They want to regulate it, and cryptocurrency people that really do believe in cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin, the king of cryptocurrencies, as big as Netflix and 21st Century Fox combined.
Have no real problem with that because they know it's going to happen. Humanity is not ready for an unregulated cryptocurrency or financial system, so yes, it should be put in control. Because if there was no control from banks or governments, then we have a massive crisis on our hands with just constant illegal activities that are anonymous and untraceable, and there really will be no control over what happens in the near future in terms of transactions and just general illegal trades. So as I said here, they've laughed at it, they've ignored it, and now they're trying to fight it. India are now having a kind of crack at it, trying to fight it directly. And you know, they're keeping their information close to their chest. They're kind of releasing little bits of information like how they want to ban illegal trades and payment services and things like that. That is not the full story. Obviously, they've really, you know, tried to push the FUD out there, tried to make people panic sell, which is kind of working. But as I said, this is healthy for them because they need to get the weak fish out of the market. The people that are going to panic sell, we need the people that are, you know, going to actually make the money in the long run. I doubt you'll be sitting here in a year from now and be regretting the fact that you held coins that you could afford to hold, because everyone says when you invest in cryptocurrency, should be money you'll be able to lose, because of course there's always going to be a risk with something new like this that is kind of unregulated as it stands. As it gets regulated, it becomes more legitimate, and things like this happen when they stop illegal activities, it starts to be accepted by governments, banks and things like that. Adoption has started. It's something that's started that probably won't be stopped. Obviously there's still a risk, but as I said, it's money that you can afford, or you should be able to afford. You shouldn't really be remortgaging your house to spend it on cryptocurrency unless you're from the future, but to be honest, I think it's a stupid idea. It should be money you can afford to lose, and if it really is money you can afford to lose, you'll have no problem keeping it in for a year because you know the potential it have in the future. This is something people need to remember. That's why the whole hodl joke is going around, because it's a big part of being a part of cryptocurrency, is that you need to get rid of your emotions and stay with something you believe in. People like Hong Kong are skipping the stage of fighting cryptocurrency and not educating their population because they know it's already getting to the stage where they've won. I went over this yesterday as well, where they set the example that it prefers education of cryptocurrency rather than a ban. They're launching a series of ad campaigns that intends to educate their citizens about cryptocurrencies, especially ICOs. The government plans to make investors understand their crypto investment better. This is a striking contrast with China, South Korea, France, government in the UK, which have planned to ban or strictly regulate these cryptocurrencies altogether, which Hong Kong, as well as other countries, I'm sure in the future, will see as the wrong decision of trying to ban it straight out. You can't control people that much. You can regulate cryptocurrency, but completely trying to control it and ban it is the wrong way to go, and you'll have a revolt on your hands, just like the petition that happened in South Korea, and just like what's going to happen in other countries in the future if they continue to try to do this. Banks are already being revolted against with Capital One and things like that, and the number one South Korean bank in the world that has rejected the use of cryptocurrency is losing a lot of customers as a result. If it were just the end of it and it was just a fad, there wouldn't be billions of dollars invested in new projects by major companies kind of putting their necks on the line. They're investing billions of dollars. Probably doesn't sound a lot to like someone like Microsoft or someone like that that's involved, or Healthcare Co Limited that sponsors like VeChain, but that still is a lot of money. That's millions of people's jobs on the line because they think something's going to be big in the future and they want to be a part of it now. They want to see it succeed. That is still a massive risk for them. I think people forget that, and their decisions aren't made solely on risk, it's made on analysis. They have a lot of people behind research and development and things like that, and they've analysed this, and they're doing the work for us. If they're investing in it, they have more faith in it than anyone else, and they're basically making the decision to invest in it. If they can afford to invest in it, why can't you put in your little bit of savings that you've had, your rainy day money, that you can afford to lose?
Give me 1 minute if you're interested in how I am making about 1 Bitcoin every 2 weeks.
Lose a little bit of it, a fraction of it. If you put £50 away from your paycheck every week or something like that, there really isn't, you're never going to lose. You're going to make a bit more money at the end of it, probably. It's like a 90% chance. There's probably like a 10% chance or even lower that it will be a fad and will just crash completely. But that'll be due to weak people that invest in the market, and we're starting to get rid of them already. As you can see, this has really affected the weak people, and if the weak people are only 10% of the market, we've still got a lot more way to go. These dips are expected and are healthy for the growth of cryptocurrency in the market as a whole. It'd be worse for it to have a whole green day in, day out, and continuously grow, because that growth will be unregulated, and there'll be retrenchment in the future where they need to consolidate and sort of figure out where they're going, because if it grows too fast, companies won't be able to keep up. There will be massive problems. These dips and booms give it a steady train rate of growth, just like the business cycle, and allows time for adoption of this cryptocurrency. It is delaying the inevitable and allows businesses to start implementing systems into their financial systems and banks, into their retailing systems, payment systems. This just allows it to kind of regulate and grow with cryptocurrency, rather than cryptocurrency growing right in front of them and then rushing to be the first to accept cryptocurrencies and kind of, just get in line with it and get in trend with it. Humanity is not ready for unregulation, so governments have to take some control through regulation of cryptocurrencies in general, and this is the only way forward. It's now a game of compromise. Cryptocurrency and governments is like a relationship. It's a game of compromise. People need to give up things. You need to see each other's best interests. They know that cryptocurrency has the potential to topple what we know as the financial system as it stands, and they're trying to grow with it rather than go against it. They tried fighting it and it hasn't worked. Now they're going to let us win, but they're going to let us win while taking some of the winnings with them. They're going to jump on it slightly by regulating it, saying what you can and can't do, but they're not going to completely stop people from doing it. And that is honestly the best way to go. So everything that's happening at the moment is healthy. This is not the end of it, and you should not worry. Watch December this time, this year even, just like happened last year, was a massive growth, and probably will notice sell just before this massive crash does happen. It's predictable. The market so far has been very predictable based on the last 4 years. Obviously it is very unpredictable going into the future because we don't know what will happen. This sort of crash wasn't predicted because a lot of governments are in the fighting stage that they haven't really done before. As I said, they were laughing at us last year and the last 4 years. We didn't expect this sort of crash to come around. They were laughing at us. They were ignoring us and laughing at us, and now they're trying to fight it. And the people that are scared of the fighting are dropping out, and this is causing a crash. It's not the end of it. There's still $454 billion worth of people that trust the system invested. So don't worry, it will come to fruition. Just hold on.